Hello, everyone. Today, I want to talk to you about the gospel of Jesus Christ. In other words, I want to talk to you about salvation. And so to begin with, I want to talk to you about what is likely the most well-known Bible verse around the world, John 3:16, which says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life." Now, because of its simplicity, John 3:16 is a verse which has been preached around the world as the gospel of Jesus Christ. It has been preached on street corners, in churches, in public auditoriums, in arenas and stadiums. It has been displayed on billboards and written on signs to be shown at sporting events. This one verse reveals the unimaginable love God the Father and his only begotten Son has for humanity. However, this one verse is only a TikTok version of the gospel. In other words, it is only a condensed version of the gospel of Jesus Christ. Now, why would I say this most famous verse is only a condensed version of the gospel? Because this one verse does not give the full, complete gospel of Jesus Christ. You see, Jesus taught more than just John 3:16 as the gospel. And because it's not the full, complete gospel, this verse is the first in a series of short verses about John 3:16 and about the entire conversation that surrounds this famous verse. It's a conversation between Jesus and a man who was likely the most famous Bible teacher living among the Jews during Jesus' life on this earth. And that man's name was Nicodemus, and he belonged to a group of religious leaders known as the Pharisees. Whether you know anything about the Pharisees or not, they were a very conservative sect of Judaism. And as a group, they rejected Jesus as a sacrilegious heretic because of his claims to be the Son of God. And because of this rejection, when Nicodemus met with Jesus, he had to do so alone and at night. Now, in the rest of this series, we're going to look at that conversation these two had. And we're going to see what Jesus really had to say about salvation. Everything he had to say about salvation. And we are going to keep in mind one of the biggest complaints that Jesus had about the Pharisees as we examine this conversation. And that complaint is found in Matthew 15, which says, "Then some of the Pharisees and scribes came to Jesus from Jerusalem and said, 'Why do your disciples break the tradition of the elders? For they do not wash their hands when they eat bread.' And he answered and said to them, 'Why do you yourselves transgress the commandment of God for the sake of your tradition?'" So in other words, in this series, we are not going to let the traditions or doctrines of man change or get in the way of what Jesus actually taught. So join me in this series of short videos as we examine the full and complete gospel of Jesus Christ as revealed in John 3, verses 1 through 21.